हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यस्यापिहितं मुखं तत्त्वं कोसनपावृणो सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये. I welcome everybody to the Swadhyaya Gyan Yajna program by Academy of Yoga and Oriental Studies, Bhubaneswar. This is a lecture series on Yogasutra by Dr. Indulata Das, Director, Academy of Yoga and Oriental Studies, Bhubaneswar. Today we will discuss on metaphysical foundation of Yogadarshana. What is the metaphysics of Yogadarshana? The metaphysics of Yogadarshana is same as Sankhya. Sankhya and Yoga are allied systems, almost like the theory and practical sides of the same school or the same system. Sankhya may be called the theory and Yoga may be called the practical part of the same school of philosophy. In Bhagavad Gita it is said, Sankhya Yoga Puthak Balaha Prapadanti na Panditaha. That means only fools say that Sankhya and Yoga are different, wise people do not say so. And in Mahabharata also we find a lot of discussion about this, how Sankhya and Yoga are almost the same. It is said, Ekam Sankhya cha Yogam cha jah pasyati sa buddhiman. That means he who sees Sankhya and Yoga to be one is intelligent. Then again it is said, Jadeva Shastram Sankhyoktam Yogadarshana Yogadarshana. That means the Shastra which is called Sankhya is the same as the Yoga. Again it is said in Mahabharata that Panchavingsati Tattvani Tulyani Ubhayatah Samam Yoge Sankhya Picha Tatha. That means there are 25 tattvas both in Sankhya and Yoga. The tattvas will be discussed later in this lecture. So the metaphysics of Sankhya and Yoga are almost the same, a little different. The difference is about the presence and absence of Ishvara, who is a Purusa. Therefore, we may say that the metaphysics of Sankhya and Yoga are the same. Sankhya is knowledge and Yoga is the application. We may say so, that Sankhya is the knowledge and Yoga is the application of that knowledge. Sankhya analyzes the sorrows, its causes, its ramifications, all that. And Yoga gives elaborate measures to get rid of the sorrows. So they are like the two sides of the same coin. It is impossible to understand Yoga without Sankhya theories. Without understanding Sankhya theories, nobody can understand Yoga. Sankhya knowledge is the base on which Yoga stands. Because in Yogasutra, the theory portion is not elaborated as it is elaborated in Sankhya. And the theory of Sankhya has to be understood in order to understand Yoga. Now, let us discuss the theories of Sankhya. The theory of three miseries, the three kinds of sorrows. There are three kinds of miseries or sorrows. These are Adhyatmika sorrow, Adhyatmika misery, Adhi Bhautika sorrow, and Adhi Daivika sorrow. Adhyatmika sorrow or Adhyatmika misery is of two kinds, that is physical and mental. Physical is caused by imbalance among the three dosas, the Kapha, Vata and Pitta. And the mental miseries are caused by increase of Rajoguna and Tamoguna in the mind. So this is all about Adhyatmika misery. Then comes the Adi Bhautika misery. Adi Bhautika misery is caused by outside agents like snake bite, etc. Then number 3 is Adi Daivika misery. It is caused by supernatural agents like demons, bad spirits, punishments caused by nature, etc. So these are the three kinds of sorrows. And what about removing the sorrows? No worldly measure. There is no worldly measure which can give us relief from all these sorrows. There are worldly measures to eradicate, but they cannot eradicate the sorrows completely, ekantikata, and forever, atyantika. So Sankhyakarika says, Dukha trayabhigata jigyasa tadapagata heto druste sapatha chen naikanta tyantato bhava. That means when one is stricken by the three sorrows, he searches measures for their removal. There is no measure available in the world to get rid of these sorrows completely and for all time to come. We can get rid of the sorrows temporarily, but not for all time to come, and also may not be completely. So the sorrows will continue. Now the sorrows cannot be removed by going to heaven. It is said that there is no sorrow in heaven. There is only happiness in heaven. There are various kinds of pleasures in heaven. Heaven in Kathopanishad it is said, Sarge loke na bhayam kinchan asti na tatra natvam jaraya vibheti. Ubhe tirtha sanaya pipase sokatigo modate sarga loke. That means there is no fear in the heaven, no death, no old age, no hunger or thirst. Having gone beyond all sorrows, one enjoys only in the heaven. The Sargaloka is a place for enjoyments. So one has to perform sacrifices and go to Sargaloka. One goes to Sargaloka in order to enjoy happiness there. But is it sufficient? Going to heaven does not solve the problem. The Sankhya gives the reply why it is not sufficient. Why it cannot solve the problem permanently. Sankhya Karika says, Drustavadanustrabikaha sahi avishuddhi khyat isaya yuktaha. That means, like worldly measures, heaven is also incompetent to remove the sorrows. Because happiness in Swargaloka is mixed with three defects. There are three defects in the happiness which one enjoys in the heaven. Number one, Abhishuddhi Yukta, it is Abhishuddhi Yukta. The happiness in heaven is Abhishuddhi Yukta. Number two, it is Khya Yukta. And number three, it is Atisaya Yukta. What is Abhishuddhi Yukta? Abhishuddhi Yukta means impurities like the killing of an animal. One has to go to the heaven. One can go to the heaven only if he performs some sacrifices, some yagas. And in the yaga, one has to kill animals. And that is one impurity. So while he is doing some good work, he is also committing some sins. Therefore, it is associated with impurities. Abhishuddhi Yuktaha. And he has to consume the results of these impurities or these sins. So that is the happiness or pleasure in heaven is not complete in itself. It is mixed with sorrow. Then it is Khya Yuktaha. The pleasure in heaven is ever diminishing. The enjoyments come to an end when the punya exists. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita it is said, "Tetang bhuktva sarga lokang vishalam khine punye matya lokang vishanti." That means the performer of good acts, the performer of sacrifices, they go to Sargaloka, they enjoy for a long time in Sargaloka, but when their merits or punyas come to an end, they have to come down to the earth. Therefore, it has an end. The happiness of the heaven has an end. It is not for all time to come. Number three, it is Atisaya Yukta. Atisaya means comparativity. It may cause jealousy because of comparativity. One, he has more punyas. He continues to live in heaven for a longer time. And one who has less punyas, he has to come back to the world earlier. So there is jealousy or there is comparativity. So this happiness is also not complete. It is not without sorrow. So neither worldly measures nor sarga permanently remove our sorrows. Then what to do? Miseries can be eradicated. Yes, there is a way by which we can eradicate our sorrows. That is only by knowledge. Therefore, it is said in the scriptures, Rita Jnana Mukti. There is no liberation from sorrows without knowledge. So only knowledge brings us, only knowledge brings us liberation from all sorrows. Only knowledge eradicates or removes all the sorrows. Every system of philosophy accepts that it is knowledge which can give us liberation from all our sorrows. Why so? How knowledge is related to sorrows? Because ignorance is the only cause of sorrow. All our sorrow is due to ignorance. Ignorance is the root cause of all our sorrows. Therefore, knowledge will give us liberation. The opposite of ignorance is knowledge. When cause is ignorance, the knowledge is the knowledge is opposite to ignorance, and then if sorrow is caused by ignorance, then knowledge can give us liberation. So it is only by getting the knowledge we can eradicate all our sorrows. Now, knowledge of what? What kind of knowledge? It is not the knowledge of any worldly things. Knowledge of Vyakta, the Sankhya Karika says, Vyakta Vyaktagya Vijnanat. Vijnan means knowledge. And of what? Knowledge of Vyakta, knowledge of Avyakta, and knowledge of Jnana. Knowledge of the knowledge of the Jnana. First knowledge of the Jnana is Purusa. Purusa is the conscious principle in our body. And knowledge of the Prakriti. Prakriti is Abhyakta, that which cannot be perceived. And knowledge of the created tattvas, the Vyakta. So there is the knowledge of the Prakriti, the knowledge of the created tattvas, and the knowledge of the self, Purusha, or the conscious principle that gives us knowledge. That will be clear if when we discuss it step by step. So knowledge of three things: knowledge of the Purusha, knowledge of the Prakriti, and knowledge of the created tattvas, the Vyakta. If we get this knowledge, then we eradicate all our sorrows. Now, disunion is the liberation. What happens when the knowledge comes? Then there happens the disunion of Prakriti and Purusha. Union of the Prakriti and Purusha is the cause of sorrow. All the sorrows are caused because the Prakriti and the Purusha are united together. So only disunion of the Prakriti and the Purusha can bring us liberation from all sorrows. Knowledge which results in disunion of the same is the cause of relief from sorrow. Knowledge which results in disunion of this both, that will give us permanent relief from sorrow. It is the singleness of Purusha or Kaivalya, Kevali Bhava, or dissociation from the Prakriti that takes him to his original state. The Purusha goes back to his original state by the knowledge, and he finds that he has nothing to do with the Papa or Punya, which are committed by the Prakriti. When he gets this knowledge that I am the Purusha, I am not the Prakriti, then only he is relieved from, he is dissociated from all kinds of sorrows. Now, what is Prakriti? Prakriti is nothing but a combination of three gunas. Guna here does not mean quality. Guna here means one of the components. There are three components of Prakriti. Prakriti has three gunas, means Prakriti has three components. These three components are named as Sattva, Rajoguna, Sattva Guna, and Tamoguna. Guna here doesn't mean quality, it is component. Now, Sattva Guna, what is Sattva Guna, what is Rajoguna, and what is Tamoguna? Sattva Guna has two aspects. One is Sattva Guna is illuminating, Prakashaka, it illuminates, and it is light. So the two aspects of Sattva Guna are illumination, and lightness. Illumination, what is illumination? Means it illuminates. That a lamp is burning, that a lamp is lighted. That is because the presence of Sattva Guna. And lightness, laghu means lightness, that a cotton is so light, that is because of the presence of sattva guna in it. So there are two aspects of sattva guna. One is illumination and the other is lightness. Number two is rajoguna. Rajoguna has two aspects: mobility or movement and tumultuousness. So rajoguna causes all kinds of movement. All kinds of movements are caused by rajoguna only, and it is also tumultuous, udvejaka. And then we come to tamaguna. Tamaguna has two aspects also. It is heavy. Heaviness is the heaviness is caused by tamaguna. The heaviness of a mountain, the heaviness of an elephant, all these are due to presence of tamaguna, excess of tamaguna, presence of excess of tamaguna results in the heaviness, and it is obstructive also. Because of its heaviness, it obstructs. That a table is on that a table is on the ground. That is because of the presence of tamaguna. That a mountain is static on the ground, that is because of the presence of tamaguna in it. Then the second aspect of tamaguna is baranaka. Baranaka means covering, the power to cover. That we that we cannot see the light, that there is covering on the light. That is due to tamaguna. That we have ignorance about something, we don't get the knowledge of something, that is because of the covering power of tamaguna. So tamaguna has two qualities, two aspects. One is happiness and the second is a capacity to cover. In Sankhya Karika it is said, Sattvam Lahu Prakasakam Ishtam Upastambakam Chalang Charajaha Guru Paranam Kemeva Tama, which we have already discussed here. Then these are the components of the Prakriti. And what else about Prakriti? Prakriti is the doer of everything. Whatever action is done, that is done by Prakriti. All the actions are done by Prakriti. Because why? Because of the presence of Rajoguna. Because wherever there is activity, there is Rajoguna. There has to be Rajoguna. If there is no Rajoguna, there is no activity. No action is ever possible without outside Prakriti or without Rajoguna. Therefore, no action is ever possible outside Prakriti. And Purusa is outside Prakriti. Therefore, Purusa does not do any action. Purusa has nothing to do with any action. Now, who is Purusa? Purusa is the consciousness present in our body. It is not the doer. The Purusa or the Atma or the self, it does not do anything. It cannot do anything because there is no Rajaguna in it. Rajaguna belongs to Prakriti, which is different from Purusa. So it is not the doer, it is the consciousness. It does not perform any action. It is only the witness. Purusa is only a witness. Purusa is only a witness, Sakhi. It is the seer, drashta, and Purusa does not do anything. Now, union of Purusa and Prakriti. Purusa and Prakriti, the self and non-self. There, Prapurusa is self and Prakriti is non-self. Everything which is different from Purusa, that comes under Prakriti. So they are united together. And why they are united together? Because of avidya. And from when? Because it is beginningless. Because avidya is anadi. Because of anadi avidya, the Purusa and the Prakriti are united together. And they are united till they are disunited with the dawn of knowledge. And they will be dissociated. They will be separated only when there is the dawn of knowledge. There is knowledge. And the union, therefore, union has no beginning, but it has an end. When the union ends, when they are separated from each other, then only all the sorrows come to an end. Now, what are the results of their union? they superimpose the nature of each other on themselves. The Prakriti and the Purusha, they superimpose the nature of each other on themselves. The unconscious Prakriti, which is not conscious, the unconscious Prakriti behaves as if it is the consciousness, as if it is conscious. And the non-doer Purusha behaves like doer of action. So they superimpose on themselves the qualities of each other. In Sankhya Karika, it is said, Tasmat Sanjogat Achetanam Chetanavadibalingam Gunakartrutvepi Tatha Karteva Bhavati Udasina. That means, because of their union, the Achetana Prakriti behaves like a Chetan Tattva, and Guna Kartrutvepi, although the Guna, all the Prakriti is doing everything, the Karta, the Udasina, the Purusha, behaves as if it is doing all the actions. So this is the result of their union. So now the creation. Creation takes place when they are united together. And this is the sequence of creation. Prakrutir mahan stato hankarasthato ganascha sodasakaha tasmadapi sodasakaat panchabhyah panchabhutani. सत्वरजस्तम साम्यावस्था प्रकृति प्रकृतिर महान महतो अहंकार अहंकारात् पंच तन्मात्राणि उभय इंद्रियम तन्मात्रेभ्यः स्थूलभूतानि पुरुष इति पंचविंशति गणः. So this is first it is from Sankhya Karika, and then it is from second is from Sankhya Pravachana Sutra. So the same thing is said in both the places. Now let us see what does it mean. What is the sequence of creation? This is the sequence of creation. Now Prakrutir Mahan. From Prakriti comes the Mahan. Mahan, or it is also called Buddhi. Mahan or Buddhi. Then from Buddhi, Ahankara is created. And from Ahankara, the 11 Indriyas, that means the Manas, the 5 Gyanendriyas, and the 5 Karmendriyas are created from the Ahankara. This is one aspect. And in other aspect, in other side, 5 Tanmatras are created. Sabda Tanmatras, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, and Gandha Tanmatras. The 5 Tanmatras are created. These 5 Tanmatras are created from the tamasika aspect of Ahankara, and the 11 Indriyas are created from the Sattvika aspect of Ahankara. And the Rajasika aspect helps both of these aspects to create the Tattvas. And from the 11 Indriyas, nothing is created, but from the 5 Tanmatras, the 5 Mahabhutas are created. And the 5 Mahabhutas are earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So this is the sequence of creation. Now, Purusa experiences sorrow and happiness. Although Purusa is not doing any action, yet the results which are sorrow and happiness of actions, these are the Purusa experiences these things because of avidya, because it superimposes the quality of Prakriti on it, and it thinks, Purusa thinks that I am doing all the actions. Sorrow and happinesses are the results of bad and good deeds. The Purusa is unable to perform any action because it is beyond the gunas. Action is possible only because of Rajaguna. Therefore, Purusa is unable to perform any action. But due to ignorance, it confuses that all the actions are being done by it. And therefore, it goes on consuming the results of the good or bad deeds. So, Purusa is not doing anything, but it is consuming the results of good and bad deeds. As a result, Purusa enters into various bodies according to its so-called performances. It moves from one physical body to another physical body. Now, what is a body? How many kinds of bodies are there? There are 2 kinds of bodies. There are 2 bodies, the subtle body and the gross body. What is a subtle body? What are the components of the subtle body? The subtle body consists of 18 tattvas, and these 18 tattvas are Buddhi, ahankara, mana, 10 indriyas and 5 tanmatras. These are the 18 tattvas which are called subtle body. Then the gross body. Gross body, it has 5 tattvas only. The 5 tattvas are earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So this is the gross body, Sthula Sarira. Then the subtle body is made once, but it continues till the Purusa dissociates itself from the Prakriti. The gross body is discarded frequently. The Purusa, along with the subtle body, moves from one gross body to another according to its past deeds, and then experiences sorrows. The Purusa experiences sorrow of death, old age, diseases, etc., while remaining in these bodies. The Sankhya Karika says, Tatra jara marana krutam dukkham apnoti chetanaha purusaha lingasya vinivruttes tasmat dukkham swabhavena. That means the Purusa experiences sorrow in the gross body till the subtle body returns back to the Prakriti. Only when there is knowledge, everything will go back to Prakriti and Purusa will be separated from Prakriti, and that will bring an end to all its sorrows. Only knowledge can do it. When Purusa acquires the knowledge that it is not the Prakriti and is absolutely different from it, then it gets the knowledge. When the Purusa realizes that it is in no way responsible for the action of which it is consuming the results. When the Purusa realizes that all the mistakes are because of its association with the Prakriti. It is associated with the Prakriti. Prakriti is doing all the actions, but the Purusa, due to ignorance, is consuming the results of all the actions. This is not a mere knowing of things. This knowledge is not a mere knowing of things. Here, to know means to become. Here, it is not only to know, it is to realize, to become. This knowledge is attained by rigorous practice of yoga. Here comes the question, what is yoga? So we have to practice yoga. We have to practice Chitta Vritti Nirodha in order to get the knowledge. So the summary of Sankhya and Yoga metaphysics is like this. Prakriti and Purusa are two opposite tattvas. They are united together due to Anadi Avidya. They both of them superimpose each other's qualities. All actions are done by Prakriti. Wrongly, Purusa identifies with the actions and consumes the results. It suffers from various sorrows. It is liberated only when it has knowledge that it is different from Prakriti. It has to reach the state of Chitta Vritti Nirodha to get the knowledge. This is all about the metaphysics of yoga. Only when we are clear about the metaphysics, then only we can understand the Yoga Sutra step by step. Without understanding the metaphysics or the foundation of yoga theory, we can never understand the Yoga Sutra. So thank you for listening to this lecture. If you have any question, you may write it in the comment box. I shall be happy to answer all your questions. Thank you again.